Okay, good afternoon. I will say I am apologizing in advance. I probably should have figured out another way to have somebody run this meeting. I'm not sure what's going on, but I don't feel well. But hopefully, we'll be able to get through this and navigate the meeting and get all of our business done. So I just want to apologize in advance for probably not being at my sharpest. So, okay, if we want to get started, we are starting the Homeless Prevention and Response System Advisory Council meeting. This is the month of August, so at least if I'm getting those things right, then we're well on our way. August 28th. So first, we like to start with our land acknowledgement. I believe Laura is going to help us with the land acknowledgement today. Maybe is Laura on here yet? It is. We're only like 1 minute into this, so actually we're 3 minutes into it. But
if you need a backup, let me know.
why don't you go ahead and be our backup?
Did you want me to start my backing up right now?
Yeah, go ahead and back.
Okay. Hi, this is
You're
Charles.
good. You're good.
This is our land acknowledgement. It says, as we begin this meeting, do I start there or do I read the full I'll just read that part. A land acknowledgement is a formal statement recognizing the indigenous people of a place. It is a public gesture and appreciation for the past and present indigenous stewardship of the lands that we now occupy. Quote, as we begin this meeting, we respectfully acknowledge that we are gathered on the traditional lands of the Dena'ina Athabascan people. The Dena'ina have stewarded this land for thousands of years and continue to do so today. We honor their ongoing connection to this land, waters, and community. We recognize the enduring presence and contributions of Alaska Native peoples across the state and are committed to uplifting Indigenous voices, histories, and leadership. As a collaborative group working to support and house members of our community, we acknowledge the legacy of colonization and its ongoing impacts, and we affirm our responsibility to promote equity, justice, and partnership with the indigenous peoples of this region. Quote.
Thank you very much. Great job.
Thank you.
Does anybody have a mission moment they would like to share with the group?
Hey, Allison's Gabe.
Hey, Gabe.
Hey, so hi everyone.
Hey, welcome.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks everyone for being here. I'll just say briefly, it's been a really big couple of weeks for all of us who work in this space in Alaska. HUD Secretary visit, statewide housing summit, a joint board meeting between our state's two COC boards, all kinds of good stuff happening. Tough overall environment, but I just got to say that what I have seen over the past 2 weeks are example after example after example of our organizations coming together to build a collective case for how we work together to show federal partners how impactful their investments are, to show that we produce results, that we think creatively and constructively. And that's pretty impressive that we're all able to focus on we and how we show up in a room together at a time when each of us has our own struggles and challenges. So I just want to recognize each of you for that and all of the other organizations and stakeholders who have shown up over the past couple of weeks. Thank you. It's been awesome.
Yeah, thanks for reminding us what the last couple of weeks have looked like. Has it only been a couple of weeks? Wow.
Either weeks or months, one of the two.
Yeah. Oh my
I can't
gosh.
quite remember. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute. So do we have any other mission moments to share? I usually rely on Jess. So, oh, there's Roger. How about you, Roger? I think I saw your hand up, right? Maybe you're on mute. I think you still
Okay.
might be
So can
muted.
you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, we're owlets at the office, and so we're getting the technology to work very successfully doing so. I just
Ah.
want everyone to know that we have been joined here at the office by Assembly Member Yarrow Silvers. I'm very thankful to see her here. That was all I had.
Okay. We'll wait for the owl to start.
The owl is not starting. It is not here. So we are going to operate off this computer speaker.
Okay, got it.
And Kim was helping patch all our computers together. Mine doesn't have a very good camera. Looks really blurry to me. I guess it's better than nothing.
Yeah, we'll get through it. We'll get
All
through it. So hold on 1 second.
Allison Felicia also had her hand up.
Great, Felicia.
Hi, my name is Felicia Carpenter, and this is my very first meeting. So could you give me a quick synopsis what exactly a mission moment is?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we like to be centered in either our work as like a meeting that something happened that we feel that we would like to express, kind of like Gabe saying there's been a lot going on and people are coming together. Or we also like to center our work in a story or experience coming forward about someone that we're serving, and in a way that that service is highlighting. Sometimes they're very successful situations, sometimes they're still challenging situations, but it's really mission moments to me are a way we center ourselves and our work before we kind of get started in the business of the meeting.
Okay, thank you. I understand that.
Okay, great question. Thanks for asking that. And if anybody can help me, I can't quite see all if the hands are up, but definitely trying to navigate it. Okay, at this point, we've sent around our August, we're seeking approval for the agenda for today and the approval for the July meetings minutes. So if I could have a motion on that, or if there's any corrections or any additions anybody would like to add.
Allison, this is Chris Schutte. I don't think you can see my hand up.
No, I can't. I don't even think I can see you, Chris.
Well, I'm here. I was at the coalition office, but no owl, so I quickly transitioned to my home. And thank you for letting me in late.
Yeah.
I had one modification to the agenda. Some of you
Okay.
saw the email traffic. The adoption of the business advisory group's charter was inadvertently left off the agenda. So
Okay.
we wanted to get that added as an approval item, I guess maybe between number 4 and 5. Is that where approval stuff would go? Wherever it's appropriate. I'd like to make a motion to add that to the agenda.
Okay, so why don't we put that under advisory council reports and follow-up?
Okay.
Thanks for bringing that forward, Chris.
I'll second that, Charles Gorman.
Thanks, Charles.
Thanks, Charles. Any other additions or comments about the meeting minutes or the agenda?
This is Will. I'll move to approve the agenda as amended.
And this is Chris Schutte. I will second it.
Great. Okay. Well, we have a great presentation today. We're going to be hearing about our Anchorage Emergency Cold Weather Plan, Shelter Plan. I think one thing that I definitely highlight is the fact that this is not October the 1st and that we're doing this all over again, that we actually have had a plan that hasn't resulted in spikes and decreases. So I'm very happy to offer this time for the municipality and several other people to talk about the Anchorage's emergency cold weather shelter plan for this year. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Kim. And remember, if anybody, I don't know if your preference is to ask questions at the end, if you want to make sure we hold some time for that, or if you're taking questions during, just let me know and I'll help you as I can.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Allison. So we can take questions throughout the presentation, and I don't have anything formal other than just what I'm going to speak to.
Okay.
So my name is Kimberly Rash. I am the director for the Anchorage Health Department. And one of the things that Allison had just spoke about is having a more year-round approach instead of the fluctuations of bringing online beds and then taking them offline, typically around May. So this year, I would say overall, it went very well. We have currently Catholic Social Services at the East 56 shelter. CSS's last day at the shelter will be August 31st. At that time, Henning Inc. will come on board as being the operator for East 56. They will remain to have 200 individuals at that location as they work with MASH to decompress down to 100. So the approach for this year is to have 100 beds at East 56 and 100 beds at Linda's Place, which is 1911 East 5th Avenue. And we are working on those contracts currently to bring those into compliance so we can make sure that we have everything situated. Both MASH and Henning will work together to transport the individuals from East 56 to East 5th Avenue. And again, that will start on September 2nd and hopefully go through September 4th. And Christine can speak more to that later on here in the presentation. Those contracts, based upon funding, those will go for the initial term period until December 31st, and then the funds are subject to appropriation in 2026 and in 2027. Each of the vendors, both MASH and Henning, will provide food to the individuals residing at the shelters. So the municipality will no longer have a separate food contract. So the current food contract is through ESS, and that will end August 31st as well. In addition, RRS, which is, we all know Kathleen works for RRS, she will continue to provide services. And her contract was just approved by the Assembly on Tuesday night. And so her term period is from August until December 31st, and then we'll go for an extension into 2026. So she will continue to assist both MASH and Henning, as well as the other shelter operators within our community to bring a more collaborative approach to how we ensure that individuals are residing not in multiple places at once. So making sure that the data that we're putting into HMIS is accurate so that we can get some good data coming out of that system. Other than that, that's pretty much high level the plan that the health department has been working on currently. So if there's any questions about any of the updates I provided, I'd be happy to answer those.
And can I just ask a question just for a context of how many beds were operated last year at the winter, and how were you able to come up with what you believe to be the beds? Because there was also, you know, we've had some increase in other types of housing that has come online, right? So it doesn't all need to land in the emergency shelter space. And so I'm just curious, as you were working through in the community on what number of beds were needed, how were you able to kind of come up with what is ultimately supporting the emergency cold weather plan?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, like I mentioned, we have 200 congregate beds. We have 100 non-congregate beds that is at the Alex 2, which MASH oversees. And when we look at the whole entire scope of available beds, we have quite a few beds within our system. And so just really trying to engage with RRS to make sure that all beds across all of our systems are being utilized to their fullest capacity. When we were looking at beds from last year to this year, there is a decrease in the total amount of beds that the municipality is funding 100%. That doesn't mean that there aren't additional beds that are not funded by the municipality at that same rate, meaning that we are paying for all the services for those locations. And then additionally to that, we have really tried very hard to make sure that we are connecting people to services and housing opportunities and working with case managers within our systems, especially with this past season, CSS working at East 56 to connect individuals to other opportunities. In addition to that, I would say, I think that's overall kind of how that was structured when we were looking at the number of beds to bring online this year.
So in essence, we feel like we have enough beds that are going to be coming online for emergency shelter between a combination of what funding sources might be available. Right?
Yes, correct.
Some organizations are privately funded anyway that are participating and remain. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I kind of understood the context of it. That's great. Does anyone else have any questions for Kimberly on this?
Jamie Lopez, I see your hand up. Go ahead.
Okay, hi guys. At a pantry volunteering. I have a question, and then based on the quick response to that, an additional sort of response. So do you plan to offer or add any additional non-congregate beds aside from what you've just outlined? So there's 100 essentially at the old Fantasies on Fifth Lindsay's Place. There's 100 at CWS 56, and then 100 at Alex Hotel. Do you plan to add anything beyond that?
No, not at this time.
Okay, so here's my concern. So last year, what you had, Meg Zolto went before the Housing and Homeless Committee meeting in October and essentially had an outline. And that outline said 475 people were, outside, unsheltered within the past 30 days. And pretty much I sort of choked and, somebody came up to me, Ruth Adolph, and said, what do you think, 2/3 of that are at Davis Park? And more or less it was feeding 350 for a period, and I could only get to certain areas in town. And so what transpired from that is that was based on data August 31st of last year, HMIS. And then you get to the next report, which was essentially based on September 30th. So they listed 2,457 total people. Next month, they said 475 unsheltered, 2,498 approximately. And right at that time, October 30, I think it was November 3rd when they published that report based on September 30th data, you had 200 beds open at the Alex Hotel, and people were starting to cycle through that number. And so I can almost assume that somebody who was looking at the HMIS data was starting to choke as well, because when people are not meeting curfew and they're having various violations, they're cycling the beds. And so where I'm going with this is 1 month it was 475, next month it was 475 unsheltered, then the next month 450, then 450, then 475 within a 30-day period, which is what was published. But then if you looked at the total number of people, it shot up nearly 600. And those are just the ones that are interacting within the system, either through non-congregate or any of the other providers. And so the true number of people outside is much larger. The HMIS data, May 31st, it said 556 were unsheltered within a 30-day period. Then it had 1,760 beds in transitional shelter, 734 set to go inactive. Those are people within 30 to 90 days that have not touched any number of providers in the system. They've checked out, they've had a bad process. They have not self-resolved, they're just outside. And then once they hit a hard 90, it said 334 set to go inactive.
Hey,
So the question that I have is this.
Okay, go ahead with your question, Jamie.
If there's 1,600 approximately that have touched the system within a 90-day period, and the number is much higher than the 600 that are outside, which means there are going to be a bunch of people that are outside. And with that new policy, AO 2025-74S2, it essentially means that there is no place left for people to go to pitch a tent, and the police are stripping things from people so that they cannot build shelter for winter. And a lot of people have come up to me very concerned about this, where they're going to be left outside, and there are going to be any number of cases of serious frostbite, losing fingers, toes, or worse. So I would suggest, and I know I'm asking this because I go outside and I interact with people daily at all hours. Please consider how you're going to support the people outside, and please consider, I know there are budgetary constraints, but there has to be something done. There has to be some sort of compromise where people can either build shelter or more beds have to be available, because the alternative is much worse. And I hope, maybe you can think about that. Thank you.
Thanks, Jamie. I think I see Felicia. And remember, this is in context. There's a section later for public comment, and where we could take some longer kind of conversations of which we can be working on as a group. This is specifically if you have a question about what was just discussed with Kimberly.
Yes, and that there are only 300 beds.
Yep. Thanks, Jamie. Felicia? Felicia?
Yes,
Sorry.
Felicia.
Felicia, so I apologize.
That is okay. Yes. The acronym RS, what does that stand for?
Restorative Reentry Services.
And Christine, can I get her last name?
Fisher, she is on the call here tonight. She'll be providing an update a little bit after me.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I just didn't know who she was. So great.
Yep.
Thank you.
No, thank
Great
you.
clarifying question. Okay. Kim, are you passing it along to people, or are you guys individually doing your section?
Yeah, I could pass it along. I don't know, is Alexis on? If not, we can skip to Christine and then come back to Alexis.
Yeah, I don't see Alexis or Dave Kuiper at this point. So
Okay.
we might just have to.
Then Christine, you are up.
Sorry, Alexis is in the room. It took us a minute to find the mute button, so she is here.
Okay. Okay, great.
Great, thank you.
We'll go ahead and go with Christine then.
Okay. Well, good afternoon. My name is Christine Fisher, and I am from MASH Property Management. 5 years, just to give you a background on MASH. 5 years ago, we acquired Aviator Hotel and started running that as a homeless shelter for the city, and housed up to 274 people there at over one winter, and well, actually over a total of 4 winters is what we ran that for. And then we, with the Matt Rasmussen Foundation and now Anchorage Affordable Housing and Land Trust, we started managing 3 hotels, former hotels, for people transitioning out of homelessness to help with that. We are running the Alex 1 shelter. Sorry, we ran the Alex 1 shelter and now the Alex 2. And then we will be running Linda's Place, which you may know was the former strip club. And so we're pleased that, because that was a building where there was human trafficking going on years ago. So we're pleased that it can be a building where it helps people and have safe shelter. It has 3 stories. So the first 2 would be men's only, and then the top level will be women. There are bathrooms on each floor, and we're in the process of remodeling and putting showers on each floor. Yeah, even though there are 2 bathrooms on each floor. Everything that Director Rash said was accurate. If you have any questions about the how we're running that, but we are pleased to be in the same space as everybody else and trying to help some of our most vulnerable people in our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see if we can get Alexis up here.
All right. If you talk loud, or you want to be here? Am I on screen somewhere?
Uh,
Can anyone see me? It's fine.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone, it's Alexis. So our scheduled plan as of right now is to take over the former CWS. It's now being called the 56th Avenue Shelter, beginning on Sunday, the 31st at 8 a.m. We will have a 4-hour overlap with CSS, who is exiting the facility at noon. We will care for, oh, perfect. Hi, everyone. We will care for 200 individuals for 48 hours, and then beginning on September 2nd, MASH will be transporting 34 people a day, until we are down to 100. And then from there, we'll go have 100 clients at the 56th Avenue shelter site. And I also still do not have a contract from the municipality, Director Rash, if I can make a shameless plug, so.
Well, this is a great place for those kind of plugs.
But that's our plan. So we'll be in on Sunday, making moves.
Okay. And I think I don't know if Dave is on yet.
Yep, he is.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay.
I don't
I think Dave,
necessarily have an
Oh,
update.
no, I think Dave Kuiper, sorry.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, you can go ahead and talk.
thank you. I don't.
Somebody say he was here or not? Stop, Joey.
I do not believe he's here.
You're muted, Allison.
Hey, Allison, we can't hear you. You're muted.
Well, no wonder no one's responding. I was like, hey, can we go back to the agenda? Or can we make sure we see who is? Yeah, this is me not at my best. I promise you guys. I apologize. Whoever gave me whatever they gave me is really in trouble. So, okay. I don't think that there was anybody else. There were 4 people, but I think that we covered everybody, right? Backup 1. Yeah, okay. Okay, now we can go into, does anybody have any other kind of questions, comments? Again, we'll have comments a little later for the emergency cold weather. This is really to give us a general idea of what, and I appreciate that they're continuing with the third party, oversight, and that, that third party oversight continues to provide information to this group and other groups about how the emergency shelter is going, if the bed quantity is adequate. All those different things are things that we learn all the way through the process. And while it feels like, winter is about here, I still do appreciate that we're doing this in August instead of the middle of October when snow is already flying. So, okay, we're gonna go on with reports and some follow-up. So I'm curious, some of the if any of the meetings of the committee chairs have any reports to report out to the group?
Unmute myself.
Oh, I've got you unmuted now.
So Roger, I have an update on the compliance.
Hey, Roger, thanks.
So we had our first meeting, it was the first Monday. It was well attended by members of the community, and we normally meet on the first Mondays at 1 o'clock, but because this is Labor Day, We're gonna switch this to the third Monday, so it'll be the 15th at 1 o'clock for the compliance committee, next meeting. And that's it for that.
So in addition to compliance, we have coordinated entry, we have community prioritization. Do we have any report outs on either of those, and data? Has any of those meetings met? I think that there was and I apologize for missing, I think there was actually a coordinated entry meeting this afternoon.
There was. We had a coordinated entry committee meeting this afternoon where we went ahead and scheduled and compiled our subcommittee groups. And we talked a little bit about the SE coordinated entry cohort and a little bit on the coordinated entry systems mini labs, and just kind of got our structure together for how we're going to be operating the committee moving forward. And then for
Laura,
the data,
are you
Oh, go
keeping
ahead.
Laura, Laura, are you guys keeping the coordinated entry at a monthly meeting routine, or are you still looking to how we're gonna kind of land with it? For context for everyone, we had gone from a 1 year, every year cycle on COC to, it went to a 2 year, but we're unsure that it's going to remain that 2 year, and that it's probably, you know, relatively, I'm not even going to predict. There could be some changes to the way the COC process happens. So I'm just curious as to what's your thought going forward on coordinated entry, and I know you're also helping with data. I think you went mute, or you just went quiet on me.
can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry, my phone switched to a Wi-Fi and it like totally cut out. So for coordinated entry, what we have come up with is we put together 2 subgroups right now. And those subgroups are meeting, one is meeting to discuss prioritization for the various different coordinated entry groups. So like families, youth, singles, veterans, and so on and so forth. And then our other subgroup is for the coordinated entry system evaluation. So we're going to be conducting an evaluation of the coordinated entry system at least every other year for right now, I think. But so we put those 2 subgroups together, and those subgroups are going to be meeting on a monthly schedule. And the regular coordinated entry committee meeting is going to continue meeting on a monthly schedule, but with less of a footprint. So we're going to have representatives in each one of those subgroups that will be coming to that monthly coordinated entry meeting to report out on what's going on in those subcommittees, bring forth anything that needs to be approved through the HPRS Advisory Council, and provide us, you know, those basic updates so that we can bring those updates to this group.
Got it.
Yeah.
Sounds great. Again, I apologize for missing that meeting earlier.
Yeah, no, not a problem.
You definitely wouldn't have wanted me in that one. I barely think you guys should want me in this one, but it is what it is. Okay.
No, that's great.
Will,
I have an up. Go ahead.
Hey everyone, so the Community Priorities Committee has met a few times. We're continuing to work to stand up HRAC, which is the Homeless Resource Advocacy Council, with Roger's kind of been taking the lead on that. If folks are interested in getting involved with that, I'd encourage you to get in contact with Roger. We're also working to finalize a gap analysis for this year, and hope to host a discussion on kind of trying to get some community standards around performance measures kind of at the program level. And so if you're interested in any of that, our next meeting will be September 8th at 4 p.m. And we'd love to have more participants. Thanks.
Got it. And Laura, are you happy with data until we get that kind of lifted? I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, you're fine. Yeah, so we had a data committee meeting where we went over the charter and our mission and vision and values. We have some edits to do to the charter that we weren't able to get complete, that I wasn't able to get completed before this meeting to present here. So it will be presented at the next meeting, and we're really looking forward to possibly having Susan come on board as the chair. And then Olivia attended the last data meeting, and she wants to kind of sit and learn a little bit more before she puts her name in the hat for the co-chair. So we're
Okay.
just going to kind of help do a warm handoff and kind of onboard Susan if that is possible.
Yeah. That sounds great. Glad we haven't scared Susan off, right? Okay, so before we jump into the business, I know we have some officer work and the structure. So Mitch, as I'm trying to track it, do we have a roster to vote on, or is this a opportunity to solicit names for those positions?
Excuse me. So for the chair, we had one application, and that was, of course, from you, Allison. So Allison will remain as chair of the HPRSAC for this year. We did have 2 applications for vice chair, and those were from Laura Cox Wilson and David Rittenberg. I do have a poll here set up, but I wanted to give each of those folks an opportunity to sort of plug themselves, or maybe just a quick note on why you wanted to run for vice chair before we, excuse me, before we take a quick vote on this. So if either of you would like to start on that, we can go ahead and get this taken care of.
Now we need you, David.
Yeah. Yeah, all right. I'll hop in. Hi everyone. My name's David Rittenberg. I'm the Chief Program and Impact Officer for Catholic Social Services. I had a conversation with Allison a little while ago, and I've recently been getting more involved with this advisory council. And I have been doing, this work around housing and homelessness and emergency shelter for a little bit over 14 years. And would be honored to move in and help with this council here. So I think most of you all know me. Just sort of looking through the roster, I think I've met most of you. So would be be happy to be here and help out.
Thanks, David. Laura?
I wish I would have had a little warning. I could have put something together.
Well, what an impressive 2. I mean, you absolutely can't go wrong. I mean, I could even pull my name out, and then both of you guys are elevated immediately. You're both absolutely spectacular, and we're lucky as a group, even to have the opportunity for both of you willing to serve. So you really don't have to have a huge prep, you or David, because I really am just grateful that this committee continues to have people step up in leadership ways, and it's taken us a hot minute to make sure that we have really figured out all of the purposes, as well as what are some of the things that we can be doing to advance the homeless response system. So I'm giving you a soft handoff, Laura. Thanks for your service, and if you have any other additional comment.
No, I was actually just going to kind of say the same thing. I've been, on the board of ACH, and then now in the HPRS Advisory Council for the last 9 years. And I haven't sat in a role outside of, committees and stuff like that. And so I felt that it was probably time that I do my due diligence and step up and take a little bit more initiative in this group. So thanks, Allison.
Okay, Mitch, we have that fancy voting system. And again, I would say what a so grateful that both of you willing to serve in leadership capacities. I'm assuming you're going to let me know, Mitch, when we've finished voting.
Yeah, we have votes coming in. I'm showing 58% participation. I don't know if you want to, we've been just about a minute now, if you want to give it a certain amount of time or.
What did you say? I didn't hear you, the participation.
Oh, well, now we're at about 2/3 of folks have voted.
Okay, well, we're gonna wait a minute. Everybody get in there and vote. This is one of our responsibilities of participation.
Just to make sure, this is Jessica, just to make sure people realize, this is a membership vote. So if you are, yeah, so if you're at this meeting and you're not sure if you're supposed to be voting or not, you probably are. So if you were at the Housing Summit, you heard some great conversations about who is part of the COC, and you all are. So feel free to vote on this as well.
Okay, I was just assuming Mitch's 2/3 meant that it included that. So thanks for clarifying that, Jess. Okay, why don't we go ahead and call it then, Mitch?
Okay. And you should be able to see the results there.
Okay, again, thank you, David. Thank you, Laura. David, that never means that you're not off the hook for some other leadership space.
Congrats to Laura.
Yeah, just really grateful. Robin had co-chaired with me, and I really, really appreciate, just that big, kind of vacancy that was immediately created, but I really appreciate all that you've ever done in this space. So congratulations, Laura. Looks like it's you and me and all as we navigate again this year. Okay. And we wanted to go ahead and put forward some new council appointment approvals. I'm not sure, and I literally was at a place that I really didn't have a lot of correspondence the last couple of days. So have we got that wrapped up, or do I need to wait until the next meeting on some of the appointments?
I do think we ought to wait. I know we had a few names put forward in our last executive committee meeting. I've only gotten one response on folks that I asked for applications, and that person is not here. And those applications would still need to go through formal approval by the executive committee.
Okay.
So I was suggesting.
Why don't we wait on? So let me explain to just some context to the group is that we had a couple of early on, council members that, have some vacancies and resignations, such as like Robin and various other people. And so as a council, we can appoint people until the next election, which happens in June. So if you want to also nominate somebody for this appointment, make sure we get that information to HPRS info, and then we will take this up at the next executive committee. Is everybody okay with that? Thumbs up. Okay, now, Chris, let's talk a little bit about the Anchorage Business Action Committee approval. So I know that you had spoken. Could you give us a quick recap? So this would be a new committee of the advisory council. And if you could just give a little recap to everybody, then we can process through the approval process or walk through the approval process.
Sure. Thanks, Allison. So we presented on this last month. It's the culmination of quite a bit of work and conversations between representatives of the Anchorage business community and Lisa Deemer and other ACEH staff. The business advisory group was initially convened as an action item of Anchored Home 2.0, and Anchored Home 2.0, called for a convening, but didn't give us a lot of direction on what we should be doing. So the business group kind of charted their own course, and during that realized, we want to help the business community be more than just, sitting on the sidelines. We want the business community to be informed and active in the homeless response system. So the charter that we developed with help from ACH staff and shared to you guys last month, that's the result of all that work. There was a recognition that we wanted to bring business voice to the table, and that probably the best way to do that was through the creation of a new subcommittee, or a committee, I guess, of the advisory committee that could provide that conduit for involvement, engagement, education, et cetera, two-way, both to the business community and from the business community. So that is, in essence, what's in the charter. It's set up very similarly to all the other existing committees. We had a charter blueprint that we followed, so a lot of it will hopefully look very familiar as far as what the expectations are for staff time to support that group, the relationship between that committee and the AC. And so, so we're hoping to get the overall AC to vote to approve to create this committee so we can stand it up for its initial meeting and seat people on it and get it rolling.
Sounds good. Thanks, Chris. Does anybody have any questions on it? I know that there might be some that have missed the presentation last time. Charles.
Yeah, but I was just curious. I think I missed it last time. I was just curious, is this committee just limited to business owners, or can anybody on the advisory council belong to that committee?
I'll defer to coalition staff a little bit in this answer that I'm about to give, but frankly, I think there's a seat at the table for everyone. So I would welcome Charles, you, or anyone else to participate. But if I've stepped over the line of the rules here, Jessica, tell me.
Yeah, I mean, Charles, I would answer it too. Like, anybody can participate in any of the committees that are of the homeless response. This is just bringing together one of the areas that has just really kind of been a disconnect also is the business community in these conversations, right? And so often it's a one-way conversation, and we feel like this is an opportunity that it is more two-way, but any member can join any committee and they don't even have to be, a council member. Community people can participate in any of our committees of the advisory council.
I was very pleased. Yeah, thank you so much. I was so pleased when I saw this committee. It just sounds like such a great idea, actually. So thank you thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Charles. Dave, did you have your hand up, or was that just?
Yeah, I mean, I did. I'll just briefly say, the only supplementary comment I would make is that the intent here is really to generate additional engagement and from and connectivity to the business community, right? So, for those who maybe their 9 to 5 isn't as a business owner, or they're connected to the business, not connected to the business community, great, show up, hear from the business community. But I do think it's important that we not have kind of the same conversations in different venues. Let's lean into the purpose of that group of hearing from our friends and neighbors in the business community, using the information that they can share with us to structure our engagement and our approaches to these challenges in a way that is as well informed as possible. Of course, vice versa.
Yeah, I agree, Gabe. I think one of the things that we've kind of been seeing is making sure things are landing in the right spaces so that these conversations are being heard, right? There's a combination between this as well as the coalition, the Anchorage, the board of directors of the coalition. So I appreciate it being brought forward to the advisory council and making it a committee of that, knowing that it's still connected in all those spaces, but it's one more group that has the voice and understanding, right? And a perspective that we need to hear. So, okay, do I have any other council members or members that have any questions before we take a vote on it? Jess, is there any procedural thing? I keep you always near me in case I step over the procedural line on anything.
Everything has been great so far. I am also battling a cold, so I'm with you with the amounts of NyQuil or Dayquil.
Oh,
sorry,
yeah.
not NyQuil. I'd be in
Foggy.
big trouble.
Yeah.
Dayquil that are running through my veins right now.
Oh yeah, foggy head. So Jamie, is this
have a question
about this, or is this give a
No,
comment?
it's specifically about this sort of subcommittee.
Okay.
Is there anything thought of at this point in time how it's either reducing sort of economic harms or specifically any sort of ideas that you want to pursue at this point in time? It's just a general question. Like anything that you're just gonna start going at right off the top.
That's a great question. And I think speaking for my fellow participants thus far, we certainly didn't want to get the cart too far in front of the horse. So first order of business was just completing a charter per the
Sure.
advisory council's template, and then getting it in front of the council for consideration of standing it up. That being said, I appreciate your comment about economic harm or economic impact. And
Sure.
certainly when we convene this group and look at developing that sort of action plan or work plan for the committee, that'll be on the list.
Okay, thank you.
And again, like the great thing, and I agree with Chris, we don't want the cart before the horse. We have the opportunity to also bring in insight as to what are some of the directions and things that as a committee, the value add continues to be on it. So great point, Jamie. So I think we're okay to go ahead and take a vote on it. Members, if Mitch, if you can help me with the vote. And what you're voting on is to add this as a committee to the homeless prevention response system of this group. Simple, yes or no, right? And again, member, if you're unsure about it, raise your hand, let us know, but really wasn't a long voting, so I don't know that it's going to take a lot of time. So do we have a sense of participation yet, Mitch?
Yeah, we have, let's see, 84% of the people in this meeting have voted. We're at just about 1 minute.
Okay, so at 1 minute, we'll go ahead and post the results.
All right, that's 1 minute. And
Okay. Chris, thank you for bringing this forward. I know you're a new council member. I appreciate you bringing it forward, and I look forward to even my participation in this and bringing forward that connection that we so desperately need, right? So welcome. You don't never know what you're welcoming yourself into though, but it's all good. Okay, the rest of the agenda, I think now we have quick, because I do want to make sure that we have a few minutes for public comment. So Jess, do we have any report from you?
Yeah, I will be very quick. Gabe talked a little bit about it as well. We had the ultimate privilege of hosting the HUD secretary and members of his team, along with Senator Sullivan, Senator Sullivan and his team, Senator Murkowski's team, and then Representative Begich and his team here in Anchorage to talk about a couple different things, the disparities in our funding formula at the foremost, but also, or at the forefront, but also being able to talk about just some of the challenges in Alaska. So that was a really great visit. Really great to be able to show the secretary and his team around Anchorage, some of the Anchorage programs, and some of the really great things that are happening here. He then was able to go out and visit a few rural programs as well, and so understands the housing issues in Alaska from both ends. We followed that up last week with the Housing Summit. I'm going to go ahead and post in the chat a link to the Housing Summit website. Right now, there's just a few of the presentations uploaded there, but the intent is we're working on getting all of those presentations uploaded there. It was live streamed and recorded, so all of that will be available to you if you weren't able to attend, but it was really great. On the first day, we had 160 people participate in person, and it was about 50-50 between people from outside of Anchorage and people from Anchorage. So it was really great to see so many people there and be able to network and talk with some of our counterparts from outside of Anchorage and see what they're doing and some of the cool, innovative ideas that they've had. So I'll leave it at those two things. I'm always available if anyone has any questions. Feel free to shoot me an email, shoot me a text, or reach out. But two big things that happened in the past month that are pretty exciting.
Yeah, it looks like I'm going to get to watch it by live stream. I had much needed vacation, but with that being said, I definitely want to be current on it and appreciate that, you know, the wheels don't fall off the bus when one of us takes a vacation. So great job, you guys. I heard great things about it. So, and had many people represented. Okay. So now we have an opportunity for public comment. Did we have anybody that was interested in public comment? You have 3 minutes. And I don't have I'm not doing good with seeing hands, so if somebody can help me with that, that'd be great.
Jamie, go ahead.
All right, thanks. Sorry. At some point in time, people are going to get tired of listening to me. It's already happened. I didn't know. But so this one's a little bit of an odd one, but you know, there are any number of people outside and nobody's perfect. People make mistakes, and some, you know, they go through the system and they have a bad experience and then they check out and they never come back. And so sometimes, you know, people go into the hotels or CWS and anyways, what ends up happening is these are tough jobs for people. You know, you're dealing with difficult clientele sometimes and the pay is not good. And so sometimes it doesn't attract the best quality employee. And anyways, where I'm going with this is essentially people go through the system and sometimes they're treated badly, and vulnerable people, and they get banned. And so they question the ban and then they don't get an answer, and then they attempt to come back or talk to people, and then they get pushed away and away. And again, well, there was a gentleman I know, one of the smartest guys I know that I've come across outside, and he was invited to the Alex Hotel. And essentially what ends up happening is he got banned for a curfew violation for 3 days, came back, tried to ask where his stuff was. I believe there's a policy they're supposed to hold it for a period of time. They told him, sorry, we don't have it. And he questioned it. And then they should come back Saturday. Came back next Saturday. Again, no answer. Ends up out at Westchester, middle of July. Somebody says, do you want to go to the hotel? Sure. Gets a cab right over there, waits 30 minutes. And more or less what ends up happening with that one is they tell him, nope, you're not allowed to come back until the end of July. And it completely, you know, is why? And they couldn't give him a reason. And so then you skip forward again to the Westchester abatement right around August 5th. And somebody the day before asked him, do you want to go to the Alex Hotel? Okay, sure. Day of, he asked, and they say he's banned for a year. and no explanation, no appeals process, no grievance, whatever. And so on one hand, you know, if you're stuck outside, technically you're a criminal now because there's no place to pitch a tent. On the other hand, trying to get in to a place can be difficult, and it doesn't seem like the grievance process or appeals process being discussed. And so I don't know if this is something that should be raised in HPRS or in the greater scope of committees, but there are many people that feel slighted that are outside. And, you know, if you want to start bringing people back into the system, you know, some of it is building trust, and it becomes difficult with people. So my general concern is the grievance process, the appeals process, or anything related either to HMIS or the bans at the hotels. And maybe there can be some discussion of it in the community to allow pathways for people to come back. And that's what I wanted to discuss. Thank you.
Thanks for bringing that forward, Jamie. I'm not sure of what the appeal process is, just for me personally, so I'm going to have some curiosity just to figure it out. But happy to reach back out to you after I see it. But you know, there are unique individual situations, and and there are times in which the entire community has to be, you know, make sure that it's a safe situation. So let me see what I can. Yeah, let me see what I can.
What is going on here?
Yep, let me see what I can find out, and happy to get back to you.
All right, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Roger, go ahead.
Go ahead, Roger.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I just want to take a minute and personally give thanks to everybody that's here on this meeting right now, participating in whatever capacity. As a community, the last 6 years have been a really long, hard slog. Last few for me, it seemed to have been, but like Gabe was saying at the beginning of the meeting, it really does feel like we've turned a corner. It, you know, I know from my years of watching it, just being here in August talking about winter shelter. Oh my gosh, you know, how far ahead of the curve we are there, but we still got a ways to go. And I am just so appreciative of everybody involved and all that we do. And the collective efforts really do make a difference, and they make a difference in the individual lives. And so I'm thankful for all, and thank you for everyone participating. Thanks.
Thank you, Roger. And you're right, Roger. I mean, what a diverse group that we also have on this. So just also very grateful for everybody prioritizing this and taking the time. Do we have anybody else interested in public comment to the group? I know we're at time, but want to make sure I don't dismiss anybody.
Felicia, go ahead.
Hi, thank you, Felicia. So I am new to this advisory council. I come as someone who's actually lived as a homeless mother, and who, you know, has actually lived with drug addictions and different kinds of things. So I'm really interested and really excited to see, knowing where the cracks are and how far you can fall through them. You know, I'm really interested to see why those cracks are there, and if at all possible, you know, maybe I could help fill them in for a lot of different reasons, but definitely just so I appreciate everybody, and I'm excited to learn the structure from the bottom. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, we're really grateful that you're here and in service of this, and know we will learn from you. Okay. Any closing good news or celebrations? Here is the list of next upcoming advocacy opportunities, volunteer. Want to make sure that I highlight on Tuesday, the 23rd, we have Project Homeless Connect. And it is in everybody's best interest to see if we can make sure that everyone that's experiencing homelessness gets connected in that space, so that we can kind of accurately get a picture of also what's going on and any additional gaps that there might be in our system. So remember,
Allison, I just want to, I was just going to toss out, I think one of the most exciting things about Project Homeless Connect this year is that it's a free people mover day. And so if you don't come see us, we would love to see you, but ride the people mover that day. It's free. So excited to welcome people down at the Egan Center. And if you want to help, the chat has been full of links to volunteer to either come help us out at the event or to table. If you want to table at the event, there's still some space left. And help us get the word out. We have some flyers available, so let us know how you can help us spread the word to come down.
okay, and we're about to hear the world go crazy because my mom's walking in, but I want to thank everybody for their participation in today's meeting, and we'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Allison.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.